In my last video, I said that beginning June 14th, Ketu makes Trump a meaner Rakshasa, and that his use of the National Guard could mean disaster if the National Guard started a riot. I said, if there is one death of one protester, that will be the end. Remember Kent State? But the court said he could not call in the National Guard because it was unconstitutional. So the cities that had demonstrations used their police to watch the crowds, for the most part. And the result, the marches were all peaceful. In absence of the Trump effect, in the absence of his warriors. But this is the beginning of the new placement of Rahu and Ketu and their power, and that will continue for a year and a half, well past the end of the year 2025. That power of Rahu and Ketu is not just for that one day of June 14th. Their power will continue to rise in the next few months. Trump is not dead yet. There's still plenty of time for this phase transition. But I also said that the violence of the transition could be quelled by the 6 groups of siddhas now in effect in India and Brazil. 10,000 siddhas in each group for a total of 60,000 siddhas. All we needed was 10,000 because that is the square root of 1% of the world population. And we found this number to be significant in creating global coherence. In a laboratory, this is called the superradiance effect, using liquids and solids in a lab. Concerning the Earth's population, scientists call it the Maharshi effect. The effect of radiating during meditation, radiating peace, brain coherence into the world and affecting other people. But 60,000 people, it's very possible these groups of siddhas will be a continuous wave of peace for the rest of the year. And Trump, the barometer for our progress toward the decline and end of Kali Yuga, the dark age of Kali Yuga, is showing signs of weakness in the polls, in his demeanor, in the courts, his own people, even those around him. He has hurt too many of his own people. But as I said, Ketu in his first house makes him more evil. We'll soon see what he does with this new power. But even that will be smoothed by the 6 groups of siddhas. Maharishi did say there would be mass destruction during the phase transition, but these groups could be mollifying the chaos that occurs just before our shift into the state of perfect order of Satyug. Similar effects come from having a yajna performed, the chanting of the Vedic hymns. those sounds that arise out of complete silence that underlies everything in the universe. That's what Ved is. That's where Rig Ved comes from. Samaved, Yajurved, Atharva Ved. We have thousands of pundits doing a special yajna, the chanting of the Atirudra Bhishek Yajna, the World Peace Yajna. So let's hope we can sustain these groups throughout the whole year. And soon I'll do a video explaining the physics behind the super radiance effect in a laboratory, the creation of a small percentage of order in a system, 1%, and that creates a transition, a phase transition, to overall order in the entire system. When this effect is applied toward consciousness, performed by these groups of siddhas, it's called the Maharishi effect. And this is what it's called in the published literature, given that name from the scientists who collected the data to see how these groups affected the world in statistics. Admissions to hospitals, admissions to jails, accidents reported by insurance agencies, and so forth. We'll have to wait to see how this progresses. I've said for 8 years that there's a battle going on in the celestial between the deities and the Rakshasas, the gods and the demons. I was at the health food store today talking about this with Joe Dowd. You listening, Joe? I said long ago that this battle has spread from the celestial to earth in the attempt of the Rakshasas to stave off the coming of Satyug to our planet. Just look at the people in power and you'll see them. Whether it's money or politics. Some of those souls in the celestial, in that celestial battle, actually incarnated onto the earth to continue that battle here in a hard, non-celestial world. So they're still working very hard in the celestial to end the evil there, and we are working very hard to end the evil on this material plane. It's all done by elevating our consciousness, creating silence and peace, and radiating that peace to the environment. Just before Maharishi left the earth, he said, "My work is done. Satyug is now inevitable." So very soon, all this work that we're doing will be over, and we could just rest and live in perfect peace. A vacation, if you will, of about 10,000 years. There's a possibility, though, that we can extend it to the full length of Satyug, which is 1.7 million years. There is also a possibility we can extend it to be eternal. In the distant future, the sun is expected to burn out, but that doesn't matter because these celestial worlds don't depend on matter or sunlight to survive. Or maybe we'll use our spiritual power to keep the sun going. When Satyug comes this year, those who have worked so hard to bring peace, world peace, will have the choice of staying here on earth or to stay only in the celestial worlds. Those that become enlightened and stay here in heaven on earth will continue teaching and helping others to evolve, and some will choose to stay in the heavenly worlds and rest there. Right now, all the news is Trump news, but stay focused on something bigger. The news should be about the death of the Dark Age of Kali Yuga. It's much bigger than Trump. It has been creating millions of Trumps for 5,000 years, and it's about to end. Now that's big news, and it should be the only thing in the news, because the evil of this age, Kali Yuga, lasts 432,000 years, and we're only 5,000 years into it, with 427,000 years to go. To end it after only 5,000 years is big news. Who cares about Trump? Maharishi is cutting short and replacing it with the golden age of Satyug this year. So forget Trump and celebrate that.